Do I need a mic? But if I have a mic, I feel like I'm doing stand-up. And I say, so what's it about super injunctions? I was thinking about getting a super injunction against bad reviews of my book. Tough crowd. But anyway, what I wanted to say, if I can get control of the microphone. This is a new microphone stand. I just got it today, and it costs £6.
Still got the receipt?
I've still got the receipt, yes. But what I wanted to say in this speech is going to be in two parts. First part is short, yes, and it's going to, as a whole, it's going to show you why it's a bad idea to publish a book under your own company. But it'll build up, don't worry.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go straight into a reading, and this reading is the very first reading from this book. The very first reading. I didn't even practice. It's called West of No East. I tried to get some publicity work done on this book, and someone sent me a publicity plan. And throughout the publicity plan, she called it East and No West. So I'm waiting for all the variations of the titles. It will be coming shortly to you. West of No East. What's it called?
West of No East.
See? It works. Okay, well I'm going to read you the first chapter. And it's only a few pages, because my attention span is very short. And here it goes. The first section of the book is called Katrina. And actually this is quite a serious book, so I'm going to try and do my serious voice. If I can. Okay. So, we remember the pictures. An obese black woman stands on the side of a concrete bridge pouring water into a styrofoam tray. She is wearing a white sleeveless t-shirt and maroon jogging bottoms soaked to the knee. Her hair in a ponytail. Beside her a scrawny black and grey dog sits, resigned and mute. A blue leash tying him to the white railing that runs alongside the edge of the bridge. Below them the dark water of the river is stippled with rain. A dead body, dressed in a white plastic raincoat, floats face down a few feet from them. In the instant, the obese woman is forever engaged with the water pouring into the tray, while the world looks in horror at what passes below. Reed called my name. I turned in my seat and saw him standing in the doorway of his office. I don't know how long he had been watching me. "What are you working on?" he asked, his arms folded. "First decade piece," I answered, looking back at my computer screen. I opened some of the image I had collated over the last few weeks. He furrowed his brow, his face knotting, the onset of grey in his sideburns. I wasn't interested. "Haven't you got more pressing things to do?" I did. I lowered my head and blinked in acceptance. There were a number of gaps I had to fill, stock images to find, nothing that would press upon the fabric of the reader's consciousness like the images of Hurricane Katrina, the 7/7 bombings, or the fall of the World Trade Center. I made an apologetic shrug and closed the photographs. A pair of auditors, identically dressed in grey flannel suits, approached. Reed retreated into his office before they passed. It wasn't a good sign. They had been with us for over a week, occupying the boardroom, arriving before 9 and leaving after 8 each day, the blandness of their expressions betraying nothing of what was happening, what was to come. I stood up to stretch my back, glancing round to see who was left in the office. Most of the people over 30 were still there, a cloud of uncertainty absorbing us all. It was hard to tell how much work was actually being done. I hope you never experienced this for yourself, but most of office life is spent posturing. Am I right? Yes. I was no different.
Serious.
Yet finally, I had a task that actually meant something to me. A photo essay that would carry my name. I looked to Reed's office. He was on a call. He said a few words into his mouthpiece, then got up and closed his door. Left unwatched, I reopened the images for my essay. Laid out on a computer screen, the first decade of the 21st century didn't look so good. It was all too easy to find images of destruction and devastation, be it natural or manufactured. Find something fluffy. I remember Johanna, the fashion editor, saying in a review meeting, "We've had enough bombs to last a lifetime. Throw some bunnies in there." People laughed. Someone mentioned Lady Gaga in a lead dress. Another asked for some Michael Jackson pics. Half the room ended up talking about the X Factor. It was early November. The girl band had just been voted off. No one could remember their names. I made eye contact with James, the arts editor. "What about Obama's inauguration?" he asked, feeling my frustration that no one was taking my project seriously. "You could do a split screen with Obama then, and Obama after the midterms," Joanna added. People weren't sure if they were supposed to giggle or look concerned. Fenton, the editor-in-chief, flicked his wrist. The conversation moved on to another article. It was my second review meeting, the first time I had an article to bring to the table. I caught a sneer from Reed as I walked back to my desk. We were production editorial. We weren't editors, let alone creatives. He made a blithe comment to put me in my place, which I accepted with a thin smile. Better to let him have it than throw more work at me. I was happy. I was somewhere he had never been. But now I was in it. The last 10 years weren't written. There were no books to consult, no TV programs to watch. My searches dotted along the decade. I focused on the rise of extremism and moved from dusty roads in Iraq and Afghanistan to the heartlands of England. One particular image caught my eye. It was a Saturday in Birmingham, August 2009. The city centre caught in the middle of protest and counter-protests. On the one side, young and middle-aged white male faces, jeering, arms aloft, some holding placards that say, "No to Islam." Others a banner, "Keep Britain safe." Some of the faces convey jocularity, others passionate anger. It's hard to tell how many of them are there and where they hope to go. In between, there is a small group of Asian youths. I couldn't place them in between the different crowds. I struggled to piece the images into one coherent jigsaw. I imagine they are at a distance, hooded and smiling, ready to recoil if things turn violent. Behind them, pedestrians stand back and watch. On the other side, a line of policemen barricade the anti-racism protesters. Some are white, some are Asian. I wonder why they are the ones being held back. Grouped together, the photographs begin to lose their objectivity. My feelings start to sink in. It is then when I saw her. Near the front of the anti-racism protesters, a beautiful Asian face framed by a light blue silk hijab, her hand stretching out in defiance. I zoomed in and cropped the image. It had been a decade, but I was certain that it was her, Rabina, the first woman I ever loved. So that's the first chapter. So this is the point where the publisher comes in and the editor, the writer goes out. And it's very hard because normally at these things, the few publishing events I've been to, because publishers don't tend to do launches anymore, normally you give a gift to someone. And I thought about giving a gift to myself. I'll do that later tonight.
Webcams.
But being publisher of this small company which launched last year, I have a lot of people to thank, and most of them are in this room. There's that guy there filming, there's that guy there with the cap on, there's that guy there who does stuff now and then. There's someone who coughed. Who's my sister? She didn't come. Just kidding. But there's one person who I wanted to single out and embarrass because she's been with the company from the very start, and I'm losing control of the microphone. But she's been with the company from the very start, before Glasshouse Books was Glasshouse Books, and a lot of people don't know this, but I was originally going to call the company Fair Trade Books, but I changed my mind because I thought I'd get sued. And there's a lawyer over there, he probably could help.
I'm not going to comment.
Typical lawyer. But the person is, of course, Erin Butler. And I want to embarrass her and say that we've been working together for... How long have we been working together? Too long. And our lives have changed quite a bit because we're both doing jobs which are more or less full-time. And we find ways to fit design work in. And I wanted to embarrass her and give her a present. And normally at publishing events, you give people flowers. I don't do them. But I have a present here, which I want to give. Erin Butler, firstly, I should say, is the designer of Glasshouse Books. And she created the logo. And she does a lot more than that, because when you run a company, or you try to run a company, what you really need are people who challenge you and who question everything you do. Thankfully, Erin does. Because if I didn't have someone like that, I probably would be bankrupt by now. But I have a present, and don't get your hopes up.
Got a little Tiffany's bag.
It's actually a penguin bag. But, there's something in it. I got it wrapped. It's a cracker. It's a cracker. Save it for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I'd like you all to give Erin a round of applause. You have to open it here.
Yeah. You don't have to.
No, you have to. Turn off your mobile phones.
What is it?
It's what a little bit sunshine.
She is Glasshouse's Little Miss Sunshine. Now, I hope you've enjoyed the launch so far. Please have another drink. The tap's run out, so it's all on you now.
Yeah.